Hey there, friend, and welcome to my January 15th. We're outside. It is 1 o'clock, so we got a little lunch break here with the pups. 'Tis Saturday, but it's still a lunch break. Just kind of hung out this morning, and yeah, really just kind of like messed around, hung out, talked to Jesse, played with the pups, did some football stuff. It's fun because it's playoffs, so yeah, there's like a bunch of like extra stuff going on. So did that. I think I'm good there. Yeah, the rest of the day, like I said, it's 1 o'clock right now, so the rest of the day is going to be, let's be realistic here. I was gonna say studying, which I haven't done any of yet today, but I'm probably not gonna get to because I actually have client work that I need to finish up that I didn't get done yesterday because I was just responding to people and really kind of going hard in the job thing. So need to get that client stuff done first and foremost. Then I need to do some of the other job stuff basically. And that's going to be a good portion of the next couple hours before I go do Uber Eats tonight. And normally I do Uber Eats Thursday through Sunday, but we're supposed to get a really big winter storm, which not that much snow, like 2 inches, which is actually a lot for here, but there is supposed to be like sleet and yeah, just like ice buildup is possible. So I will not be driving tomorrow because it's supposed to essentially be like all day tomorrow. So yeah, need to go to that tonight, but then I'll be home tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy as I'm just twirling around my backyard. Yeah, so Uber Eats tonight. And yeah, like I said, getting some of that stuff in this afternoon before that. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I just got off a call with a friend, and we touched on something that I see all the time with big thinkers and deep feelers, including myself, something that I've experienced on a deep level in my own life, which is relationships, specifically romantic, but definitely pertains to platonic relationships as well. And that is having it be really difficult to find what you're looking for, to find someone that is as open as you'd like, as connected as you'd like, as deep as you'd like, somebody that's there fully, and somebody who is present, somebody that doesn't shut down immediately in times of conflict or disagreement, somebody that's truly seeing you and hearing you and you feel like isn't shutting you out. It's something, like I said, that I've like had in my own life and experienced that, so I know that internally, but then it's also been interesting and made it painful for me to see from my time working with clients where they're like, well, maybe there just isn't somebody for me, or maybe that person doesn't exist. Maybe I need to give up on that or think differently about that. And there is nothing more sad to me than hearing this, because I myself am so empathetic. Like I remember all of these conversations that I've had with clients and friends over the years about this. And again, of course, my own experiences of feeling exactly this way. And so with that, I just wanted to mention that it is worth, like, first and foremost, it is worth waiting for finding that. Like, what you are searching for does indeed exist. I promise you that. It is out there. However, the very real truth of this matter is that it is far less likely or probable than what most people are looking for, experiencing, etc. So you do have to understand that you are kind of searching for that needle in the haystack. The needle is there, or needles are there, I should say. There's not just one. There are needles in the haystack, but it does take some time to find, or it can take some time, because there's just less of those types of people out there. Doesn't make other people bad. It just, speaking from what you and I know and understand and experience, there are just fewer people like us, or that experience life like we do. So understand that what you're looking for does exist, but yes, it is hard to find. And also, the thing that makes this a vicious cycle then is that you feel it more deeply in those times of, like, you know, like somebody breaking it off, or not being able to find people, or going through dating apps, or many different initial conversations or first dates or whatever, and just feeling like you're never finding that. It's often much harder for you to experience that than it is for others, because it kind of ends up being this deep existential thing every fucking time, instead of just somebody else who might be able to brush it off and be like, oh, okay, that was the first date, didn't work out, whatever. So I just wanted to put those things out there, because you're not alone. There are others like you that experience this, and quite a lot of other people like you which experience this. And so this is one of the things that I really considered in my bigger vision, and is kind of like what I want to create going forwards, is not only on platforms like this, be able to create a space where big thinkers and deep feelers can kind of like come together and be in community with one another and converse. I want you to feel seen and heard in this space. That's, you know, why I'm sharing as openly and authentically as I am, and kind of why I've leaned into this as opposed to other things that I've done in the past. And it's also what I want to build in the future. I want there to be, or I'm kind of like working on slowly over the next short-term amount of time. Who knows how long it will be? I'm not committing to anything, but I will slowly be building community for this very reason, because it should be easier. I want it to be easier to find people like what you are looking for. It doesn't always necessarily have to be people like you, but it has to be people that are at least on your wavelength and are open to experiencing life in the way that you are hoping to experience it as well. So, but yeah, just like know that your people are out there, whether that's romantic or platonic. Just keep the faith, keep connecting with other people that feel good to you, that you resonate with, and really do whatever you can to cultivate those relationships. Again, hopefully this is a space for you where you do feel that way. And if so, please feel free to reach out, feel free to comment, subscribe, any and all the things. I'm here for you. All right, so I've got a quick rant here, and I'm saying quick because I'm specifically giving myself the next few minutes to talk about this so that I don't go all over the place and I keep it relatively short because I have somewhere to be. The 40-hour work week in the year 2022, and how ridiculous and insane that is. And archaic, and like, it's just the least progressive thing happening in the working world now. And like, for all the technology and the things that we have, the fact that this is still the kind of gold standard as to how we work is utterly asinine to me. So the thing that sticks out to me the most, and by the way, this came up in the conversation that I had with a friend earlier. This is now the second time that I mentioned I talked to a friend yesterday and I talked to a friend today. Having friends that are big thinkers and deep feelers that I can have meaningful, connected, deep conversations with on a regular basis has helped me grow immensely. Like, I haven't had a coach or anything in the past couple years, but part of me is like, I haven't fucking needed one because A, I've put in a lot of work prior to the past couple of years, but also because I have such fucking awesome friends. Like, I have people around me that I can explore things with, that I can have just the most insightful conversations with, that allow me, like, reflect back to me, and so, like, allows me to get to know me more and think deeper and all those things. So in this conversation, we were talking about time as we're both kind of embarking on new job situations and therefore reallocating schedules and restructuring that whole thing. And I was noticing as he was kind of talking about his situation, I was getting all fucking worked up, and it's because of this notion. And so for me, the thing that was sticking out to me as he was talking, and because he's in a situation where he's working with somebody in a much more progressive area, this is not some old company, this is not just some large corporation that's been around for years or anything like that. It's a pretty non-traditional role, and therefore I was a bit surprised at some of the talks around time and work week and stuff like that. Because to me, this just seems so clear and obvious, and so that's obviously why I get frustrated then. But to me, time is a terrible metric to be using for work and for employees, for people that work under you. Like, that's just such an awful metric, and because it doesn't make sense. Like, as a company, you don't measure your success by hours spent working on something. You measure your success based on output, based on things that are bringing you in money, on revenue, right? Like, so time has nothing to do with that. Obviously, it has something to do with how those outputs are reached, but in the end, it doesn't actually fucking matter. It's like, as long as those outputs are being reached, then that's what matters. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. It's been on the top of my head since we chatted. I got, passionate when we were talking, and it's just interesting to me. It's interesting to me. I get upset initially when people don't see things the way that I do. I've learned throughout my life that can be a bad way to go about things, and so what I've learned to do, and is still a challenge for me, is to get really curious about that and really wonder why these things that seem obvious to me are not things that other people see, or not the way that they think. So this is something that I kind of want to put out there, and I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Are they similar? Are they different? Because again, as I'm really, we were talking about relationships with big thinkers and deep feelers. This is another one of those things that I've found to be kind of specific to big thinkers and deep feelers as well. Like, the amount of time, 40, 60, 80 hour work weeks, it just doesn't really make sense to us on just like an embodied level. Like, I'm not even saying that we have conceptual reasoning for not doing that. I think we do for the most part, but there's just like this deeper misalignment. And that was for me when I initially went into the working world after college. That was one of my main, the things that just didn't sit right with me. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is like the majority of my life now that I'm spending doing this thing that I just, like, it just doesn't seem to, in the grand scheme of things, be that meaningful. Like, that just doesn't make that much sense. So anyways, I am here at my location. I'm going to stop my rant. I didn't even want it to be this long, honestly. But yeah, I'm going to stop that there. Time is a terrible metric for work. Curious on your thoughts, your feelings. Hit me up, and I'll talk to you soon.